So, ready? Great. So, hi, welcome to Binge Buddies, Toretto's shitty tuna sandwich. I'm your host, always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, I had a different name picked for it, but then I just saw this one. I have to go with it. Is Matt, Zombie Dog Subaru Brat, Dykes.
Hey! I did talk over
Subaru.
Joel's plugs a little bit, but I'm not a brat.
Yeah, you're a brat with a Z.
I'm a twat.
Now I'm just, I'm not even gonna go there. We also have Joel, Volkswagon Thing, DeWitte.
So is it that's a Volkswagen that just looks like a brick wall then?
It's just a thing.
It's that thing, the Marvel thing, right? Not the John Carpenter one, because God, that would be a horrific car.
Apparently, it was supposed to be associated with the Fantastic Four, according to this little blurb on this random website that I found. So we can definitely believe that.
It seems credible.
Yeah.
Wow, I got nothing.
We made Joel speechless.
It's not that. So
I see what you did there.
That was a good one. But what do we have for Ryan? I'm between two for Ryan. This is tough. I'm going with this one. All right, so we have Ryan, Pontiac Le Man, Lootens.
I sound foreign.
You're a French man.
Works for
Le
me.
Le Man.
It's probably Le Mans, like the race.
Oui, ho.
Yeah. It's very Kenan Thompson of you.
You can tell I grew up in the 90s.
everyday French. The Eras card go.
Oh,
yeah.
I used to actually learn French sentences from that because they were so damn funny. Like, there's something about just complete random humor, like Jack Handy-esque, that just gets me. And everyday French with Pierre Escargot was some of the best ever. Like, there's a banjo button. There's a banjo in my belly button. Like, this is fucking great.
Oh.
All right. So here we are. Feeling furious today, right?
So angry.
6 degrees of furious.
That bit.
I really like this movie. When I was talking with Matt, when we were kind of chatting a little bit, I go back and forth pretty much mid conversation of, do I like Fast 5 or Furious 6 more? I honestly don't know. I think if I try to look at it as like macro sense as possible, 5 will always get the edge just a little bit because of the vault chase at the end. But 6 is a through and through solid action thriller thing. A lot of the plot doesn't make sense. What they're really going for doesn't really make sense. How they're planning to stop anything with cars really doesn't make sense. They just gotta hop in cars and drive at each other like they're gonna do something. But as long as you're willing to let that shit go, this is a really fun ride. And I think that's partially why 5 will always get the edge, because it just made a little more sense. Whereas in 6, it's like, bad guy London, get in your car and stop him. Okay. And they just go for it. It's like, this one takes a lot of just going, fuck it. And I as we've talked a lot throughout Binge Buddies history, I am a viewer who really appreciates fuck it filmmaking. And 6 definitely dabbles in those waters a lot. Defies physics.
Whole franchise from here on out.
That's very true. This one really is kind of the beginning of fuck it. Which I'm here for, and I really like it. This is the last of the Justin Lin run. He does do one more later. He does 9. But this was kind of like the end. And it really, when you look at it in that way, it does kind of feel like the end, like celebration. Everything he's brought into this franchise so far as like filmmaking and action sequences and storytelling, it really does kind of come to a peak here and really kind of explode in a finale sort of way. And I'm along for the ride. I think everyone they brought into this movie is like the new cast does a really good job. I'm not a huge fan of Gina Carano in life. She's kind of a butthead. She's great in movies. Like, she was awesome in this movie. Such a good fit, especially because she's such an unnatural fighter. She did it professionally, and she can be a great stunt woman. So putting her up against Michelle Rodriguez, those fight sequences are awesome. Like, you really believe she can kick ass. And then you brought in Joe Taslim from the Raid franchise, and he is such a good fighter, and having him do fight sequence in this, like, they really knew that they've done a lot with cars. They're going to do more with cars, but they need to do some shit out of cars. And this movie really answers that and steps up in a big way. And I think it's great. Like, I watched this thing for the hand-to-hand fights and legit enjoy them. They are really, really well done here. I love this movie. I have a ton of fun with it. I've watched it 100 times. I'll probably watch it 100 more times after we talk about it. But I want to see where you guys land on it.
Okay, I'll go. This 5 really reinvigorated the franchise for me. And watching 6 again, I say, movies are as good as their villain. And holy shit, man, Luke Evans.
Shaw's a good villain.
He is fantastic. Luke Evans is you don't even have to have like what we had with her Reyes in the last film. You don't need that. You understand that he's a mercenary soldier, and how he goes about doing what he does as a thief, brilliant. And it's just his demeanor. Like when him and Toretto meet up and have that conversation, you're expecting something to happen, but it's not going to, because that's not the person that Evans is. He knows, like in the back of my mind, that Toretto's got backup. So just everything about this movie, the payoffs, this one you have more fan service with Braga and Stasiak. It's just the fights, the action sequence, the final action sequence on the world's longest runway is it doesn't matter, because you're just watching it for the action. You're so invested in these people at this point because you believe the team. You kind of have that sense of family, but it's so good when they're going against someone who is so smart. So yeah, that's my thought.
Joel, where'd you land on this one?
I sort of fall in a similar category as you, Brian, where so far 5 and 6 are sort of battling for top of the list right now. At the moment, 6 is sort of teetering toward where I'm at between the two, and it is by degrees, because the last movie was definitely a lot more of a cohesive, make sense kind of thing. And I liked that a lot in movies when they package things right like that. But this is a lot of fun. It is nice to see them try to bring Letty back into the conversation and turn it into this kind of, it's really centered about that love story almost more than an overarching story beyond that. It's all sort of centered around that, and everything around that is tertiary. It serves to bring them together, and that's really all it needs to be. And a lot of fun action. The racing seems to rev back up again compared to last movie, so it takes a more focal point, which is nice. And just these characters continue to gel wonderfully together. That we talked about it, I think, in chat, but like the sum of them is greater than they are individually. Like they're competent actors, they're entertaining on their own, but it is that dynamic between all of them that makes them so great in this.
Yeah. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I think for me, it's going to be Fast 5 that's going to be better than this, only just because Fast 5 looks a bit brighter, and it's got that sort of more fun thing, whereas 6 looks a bit dour. And I know it's set in London, so it is going to be dour. It's not Rio, it's London. It's it's cloudy, it's miserable, But I just there's something about Fast 5 that it's got that exotic feel to it, and I think because of that, it just edges above. I mean, also it's got the fucking vault thing, but everything else in 6, it's so good. Like that, guys, they got a tank. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Like we improvise. Like, no, get the fuck out of there. You're in sports cars.
I love we improvise, and then that whole family just got pancaked. Stop improvising and get the fuck out of the way. So many
guys,
people died.
They only walked away with minor cuts and bruises. It's fine. It's fine.
Sure.
Sure. Those people, like, minor cuts and bruises. Oh yeah, and they're flat.
I didn't say what condition the rest of their body was in.
There's a minor cut and bruise on their finger, which is 4 miles over there.
They have a bruise on their leg that's 13 miles down the road that way.
Otherwise, the leg is intact.
There's a few bits in it where it's like I know I shouldn't be looking to any sort of realism with these films, but it's just like, you know, the setting in London, and then the basically like they go to a pawn shop to get guns. It's like no UK pawn shop would have a gun in it. Like none of them. Like,
but the ones in the Fast and Furious franchise would.
Yeah. And especially something so rare as well as like, oh, just this one firearm that only fires this one type of bullet. I can like leave it alone. Like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I think like when you put something in London being British, like you put something in England or Britain, like I'm always going to see those, like, you know, you've got that sort of like, you know, we're used to seeing American police officers shooting out of cars and stuff like that. British police officers, I'm looking at it going, yeah, every single one of those would be fired. Every single one of those police officers for shooting randomly out of their car would be fired. But, you know, again, I can kind of like leave that alone. It's like, I think for this one though, like the action is really good. Like the hand-to-hand fight stuff is so good. Like I love that whole sequence in the underground. It's so like, and the little pin in it of like where Roman says to Han, or Han says to Roman's like, not a word about this to anyone else, or something like that.
Oh, it's Roman. Like, yeah, it's Roman. We don't need to tell anyone about this.
Not anyone.
Yeah. And it's so good. Like, you know, you bring back like a lot of the really great characters, like Giselle and Han. Like their chemistry in this is fucking awesome.
So
like,
good. Yeah.
Their introduction, like they both see those, like the police or whatever they are coming towards them, and immediately they're just like that. And it's like, oh, this is fucking cool. and like the bringing back of Letty as well. Like, and amnesia is a bit of a kind of thing, but at least what I like about this one is they didn't have the amnesia thing where like she sees Dom and it's like, oh my god, I'm starting to remember. Oh, who am I? No, she doesn't. She still doesn't remember.
That's why
she's got that feeling. I like that.
When we talk about, as we dive in and just her character, like Michelle Rodriguez is okay. Like she's fine. She acts her heart out, and everything just feels so natural with that, about understanding who she is and the life she's lived versus who she is. It's just really good. But we're not going to get into that just now.
No. Yeah. Well, we're not that far away.
Okay.
So Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, let's start with Michelle Rodriguez.
Okay, but no, like I'm saying, like you've got a character that's been established in, I'm gonna say 1.5 movies. And this was the whole thing that led us into Furious 6 is we didn't talk about it in the last episode, but there is a mid-credit scene, not a post-credit scene, but a mid-credit scene where we get Eva Mendes back from part 2. Goes up to Dom goes up to Hobbs and says, hey, someone hit a Russian facility. You need to check this out. And he goes, nope, it's not Toretto. I don't want it. And he goes, no, you need to look again. And it's a link to Toretto, which is Letty. And so that had everybody, I remember watching that back in the day. I'm like, how are they going to do this? And it all hinges on Michelle Rodriguez's performance, and she nails it. She is someone who is just doing what she's a mercenary. She's there. She's a killer. She's a fighter, a driver. But the look on her faces when she starts to question things is very natural, and it feels very real. And it is just the best piece of acting in the Fast and Furious franchise I think I've seen, but I could be very wrong. So that's just my thought when it comes to her characterization. And for her to be the linchpin to bring another movie back, it works.
And I really like, I think I based on your take on Michelle Rodriguez, I might be a bit bigger of a fan of her than you are, but I don't disagree with what you're saying, because there is something when she pulls out a performance, it does kind of catch you off guard, but it's nice being reminded how good of an actor she can be. Like why the world blew up when she made Girl Fight, because she was so good in that one movie. And like seeing that actor come out every now and then, like I say what you will about Avatar as a movie, I think she's incredible in Avatar. I think she's really good in that. Then I thought the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, she was fucking great in the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Highly, if you've at all played D&D, if you have ever liked D&D, you need to watch that movie. It is such a fan of D&D's movie. It's so fucking good. But she's great in that. And it was another one of those moments that like you described here, Ryan, that I had watching that. I'm like, she can fucking act. And like you kind of forget not only can she act, she's also really charismatic. She can be funny. Like, she can throw out her one-liners when she needs to. Kind of going back to like that first movie where like she can kill a room with a look. Like we talked about a lot in the first movie where she has that one look where she just pulls her sunglasses down. It's like, okay, fuck me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did I talk to you? I'm sorry. Came out of my mouth.
How dare I? And she kind of has that here again, and like you get that chemistry. And for my money, this is where I finally go, I get Dom and Letty. Because when I watched the first movie, it feels very forced of like, all right, she's the girl in this movie, she's a badass, she's this. If the badass girl's movie needs to be with the badass guy in this movie, so they're a couple. And that's all you really ever get. Whereas in this movie, you see Dom have to court her again. Like when they do that chase, like where he does not chase, they do the race/chase thing throughout the streets of London. You see them kind of romantically flirt with each other again. And you see that like, oh, even with amnesia, she is inexplicably drawn to him. Like she wants to be with him, even if she doesn't know who she is. It's just like that very like melodramatic, like our bodies are drawn together. Like we are meant to be together. And they play that off in like kind of a cheesy way, but also kind of not. And it works for me. Like from there on out, I'm like, I get Dom and Letty. Do I get it to the point where I'm okay with how they write Elsa Pataki out of the movie? Nope. I think that is one of the dumbest things I've ever done. But at the same time,
the most unrealistic thing I've seen in these films is her reaction. Like,
you win.
And this, I mean, this is coming from a film that has a runway so long that you should be able to see that from space.
But yeah, the most unbelievable thing in this is, I love you. We have a life together. Oh, your ex-girlfriend is
it's wife. You're right. They got married.
That's not been said yet. Did they reveal that in this movie? I thought they reveal it in the next one.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I don't know they were married.
Yeah, it's the next movie. Shh, Ryan, spoilers.
Sorry, spoiler.
I corrected myself. But your ex-girlfriend's alive? Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I don't need you. We're good. I get it. I'd do the same shit to you if my husband came back to life. Like
it made sense in the context of if you see this series as a male-centric soap opera.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of oversimplified, like, oh, the one you're the ones here. I understand.
Yeah.
So
I
have fulfilled my purpose.
But like, I apologize to Joel and Matt for what I have to say next, but it is very important story-wise as why I think this problem is even worse than just it is here of just like, yeah, you know what? Your girlfriend's back. I'm out. She's pregnant. So she's pregnant with Dom's baby, and she still does this. I'm like, it just doesn't work for me. Like it's the only plot point in all of the Fast and Furious movies, which is a lot of stupid plot points that I go, this one doesn't work for me.
Do we know that she knows that she's pregnant yet? Because, you know, when they were laying butt ass naked, which only time I'll ever be jealous of Vin Diesel. When
should be more jealous of Chris Hemsworth, just saying.
Would it be because of that morning? You know, with their little tryst, you know, she might not even figure out that. I mean, because this movie takes place what? I mean, they have fast travel. I get they have fast travel, but 2 weeks, she's not going to know until next month. She's not going to come and try to disturb that apple.
You can assume this. You can assume this takes place maybe months after. That's sort of where my mind went to.
The bigger problem is, when does Fast 8 take place? Because that's really when you find out. Because there's a whole movie in between. We find out that she was pregnant when they broke up. So like the timetable in here gets really wonky and doesn't really work at all if you spend even a minute thinking about it.
But don't try and think about the timetable, because 3 movies ago Han died and he's still here.
Well, good point.
Yeah, there's a lot of fuzziness here, but either way, for any of it to work, she had to get pregnant while they were still together, because Dom's not going to cheat on Letty. So at this point, she's pregnant. Yeah. Sure. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. So like, it just doesn't, it's always kind of bothered me. Really ever since I saw Fast 8, I'm like, that scene was already problematic. But then you throw in that she's pregnant on top of it, and it's just like, I need to let this go. I'm here to watch cars go vroom. Like, I need to just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It crossed my mind too.
All right, so let's start diving kind of more into this. If we've talked, the main push of the movie is that The rest of the crew shows up because they get a phone call and they do their "you son of a bitch, I'm in" sequence, and then they're all here again, with the exception of Leo and
Santos.
where they get lip service. Anyone heard from Leo and Santos? Nope.
They're in casino.
It's just like,
Arrested for vagrancy in Monaco after they lost all their money. I'm telling you, that's what happened.
yeah, you're probably not wrong, but it's still kind of a bummer we don't hear anything from them.
I love Roman's fucking plane. I thought he'd rented it at first, and then it's like he's bought it.
No,
he's bought a plane. It's like
no, Roman's on the same fast track to poverty. It's just he's having a lot more fun with his money.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Roman, bitches.
I mean, it's kind of like it was kind of like the end of the last movie when they're going through like all the money they spent, and then Roman shows up in his car, and then Luda has bought the same car. I guess there's two in the country. But now Roman's buying planes. But I also like that you still get that ridiculous draw to family of like he's taking these women to some foreign country to like roll out the red carpet for them and have a great time. Then he gets a call from Toretto and he's like, "Turn around, we're going back." And it's just like, I love that. Like, it's so dumb, but it's just like, oh, who's on my caller ID? I'm canceling all my plans. Toretto called. And it's like, I enjoy it. It's fun.
What I like about that is always like he's bigging up that they're going to go to Macau and to the casinos and all this stuff. And then it's like, turn around. It's like, so we're not going to make it to Macau, but I got some coupons for the buffet.
Look at his breast pocket of his coat.
Yep.
These are going to go to waste now, so you might as well have them.
He is just too funny. But then we get everybody together, and we get them together in this secret spy headquarter things that Hobb has set up for them in London. Sure, why not? But then we get the unbelievable joy of The Rock and Tyrese, and them quipping with each other is just, they're so fucking funny. Like, it's so good. And like, I'm gonna bring this back up at the end of the episode for my favorite moment, but like Hobbs is trying to brief them like you would like a secret agent team, not a bunch of street race criminals, but he's trying to like brief them, and Tyrese is just not paying attention because he wants food. And like that entire sequence is just so, he's like asking Ludacris for money. I thought you're a millionaire. That's how you stay a millionaire. Like, it's just like...
it starts off though with him asking, like, trying to get something from Hans snacks, and Han just sort of like holds the packet upside down. And it's like,
and I just can't figure out how to get the fucking vending machine to work, so The Rock just shoots it. It's just like,
that's pretty good.
This is all great. Like, this is all good.
It's
stuff.
on the house. And what I love is like that keeps coming back because you keep seeing people just going to that still shut out vending machine later on the film, just like getting stuff out.
Like this movie, if Fast 5 introduced bringing fan service into the movie, but like doing it well, Fast 6 capitalizes on it. Like the whole movie is just chock full of fan service. But again, like I feel like here in 2023, when we see fan service, we think like Rise of Skywalker, where like the movie just is fan service. It's not a movie. And like you go back to these movies here and it's like, no, this used to be integrated. Like this is very much fan service, but in service of the plot. Case in point, we've done NOS in these movies, all of them. What else can we do with NOS? Harpoon gun? Can we make a NOS powered harpoon gun? Fuck it, why not? It's like that's the type of fan service I'm here for now. Like, let's just take something that we know we've used and just do something stupid with it. And it's awesome.
About the NOS harpoon as well. He's fucking Tyrese just fucking around with it, and it goes off and nearly kills Hobbs.
And then tries to blame
he hands it over to Taj.
Yeah.
They just
he walks away.
Oh, it's some good shit.
So good.
Oh, goddamn. But yeah, like to capitalize even more on the fan service, you had this little undercurrent throughout the movie that Tyrese will eventually just call out and spell it out for you if you haven't caught it yet. And that is something that Justin Lin and Chris Morgan did that was just absolutely brilliant, which was like, what's the only thing that can compete with the family? A different family. And they just take the Fast and Furious crew and just make another one. Like
Yeah.
they even have like, oh, we need somebody. Somebody's got to fight The Rock, but he needs to be physically intimidating to The Rock. Find me the biggest person you can. All right, Kim Cold, you're hired. It's like, can you act? Doesn't matter. You're made of muscle. And
Andre
it's like
the Giant shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Well, it's like the problem with the Arnold Schwarzenegger films and the Sylvester Stallone films of the 80s. They always needed someone bigger than them. So, you know, you'd have like that Sven guy. I can't remember his full name, but like he shows up in so many of those films just because he's a big guy.
yeah.
Who looks imposing against Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's in so many Arnold Schwarzenegger films
Just because he's huge. And it's like, I get it. It's
But
like the
they-
guy from the actor from Bloodsport who fights Jean-Claude Van Damme. That guy. It's like, you're here
Yeah.
just because you're huge.
Yeah,
He got so many roles because of that.
They even have that great scene in this movie where Roman just goes through the list and tells everybody
Yeah.
who they are, and then Brian gets compared to the blonde woman
Yeah,
because
blonde woman.
we all need a pretty blonde or something. Like
Yeah. When'd you get that photo shoot taken? It's like- But then even on top of all that, I love the callback to 4. Validating my little gem part 4. With the most random, like, yeah, you're gonna get yourself arrested. But I do like that they, like, if they're gonna do a callback to 4, they do it well. They even bring back the cop from 4 that he
Because
said the
it's
problem
the
with.
villain.
Well, yeah, because the villain again. But even like the bad cop that he punched in 4, he has to punch again here and break his nose
Yeah,
again.
I love Shea Whitman. He's good.
it's like sorry about this guy. Sorry about this dude.
And he's like, again?
Again?
Ah!
I just finished paying off the cosmetic surgery for the last time. God damn it!
But it's again calling back to like what I mentioned last week when we we're talking about Paul Walker and these and like the stuff he brings to this movie. That whole Braga sideline, it only works because of Paul Walker, because of his ex-copness
Yes.
and because of his physicality. That fight they have in the jail cell, which is again, I mean, it's funny
Yeah.
that we have somebody from the Raid in this because this is another very Raid-esque fight sequence. You can tell Justin Lin liked the Raid. But like
It's
that
that
scene,
close quarters element. It's
Yeah.
really tight, really sort of dirty and gritty, and you know, not something you expect in essentially a PG-13 action film as well, because it is kind of like The Raid, which is properly not
oh
PG-13.
god no.
But it's that really sort of like dirty, gritty, just gonna like fighting for your life essentially, because you're in such tight, confined spaces.
Oh yeah, and like and you even get like some story out of it in a way. Like you can look at it as like they need punchable henchmen, or you can look at it in the way of Braga's gone up against him before and knows he can't just bring one hit guy. So he brings multiple muscle because he knows Bryan can fight. And then they open that door and oh shit, Bryan can really fight. He takes out the other 2 guys and he has Braga pinned on the bed. And I love that you're not going to do it. He's like, fuck you. Yes, I will. It's like,
Yeah. What I like as well with that is like Braga's still thinking of Bryan as a cop.
Yeah.
And he's
Yep.
no longer a cop.
Yep.
He's the other side of the coin now. He's gone criminal. So it's like, you know, he's still sort of going, he might as well just go, hey, you're a cop. You're not going to do it. It's like, really? Really? You see your badge? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I'm
he
getting really
stabbed
good at
him-
this.
He stabbed him on the inside of the leg, depending where he
Yep.
hit. He might have just
Yeah.
killed Braga.
Yeah. The minute he did that, I'm thinking, oh, so tourniquet or he's
Yeah.
going to bleed to death.
Yeah.
There's the femoral artery.
Like, there's a big artery right there that Bryan hopefully knows about. 'Cause
Well,
otherwise,
it's like that thing. It's the standard action movie thing, though. It's like, you know, how are you going to disable him? I'll shoot him in the leg. You know, there's a big ass fucking artery in there that if you shoot him in the leg, you're not going to disable him. You're just going to make him die slower.
yeah.
Oh, he's just gonna call it I've got arterial bleeding. Like it's good medical assessment.
Yep. Yeah. He's got a big boo boo.
There's a lot coming out, and I don't know what to do.
He's leaking. But yeah, I do like this sideline and just like this kind of like weird. We're just gonna bring 4 into this. Like we're gonna make this more of a legacy. Like this is kind of the whole like this is a saga, which they don't really call out till part 9 of the franchise. But like I do enjoy that like they're really trying to make sure that if you've been involved in these things, if you've been watching them from the beginning, you are getting some payoff here. As much as 5 was a standalone, 6 kind of goes, this could be a standalone too. It could just be a sequel to 5, or it's also kind of a sequel to all of it. Like, it's a really well done way that you could have only seen one of these. This could be your first, or you can be a fan of all, and it still works. Like, that's Justin Lin and Chris Morgan deserve more credit than I think they get for pulling that off twice, really, between 5 and 6.
I mean, it does really well what they tried to do with Spectre, and did really badly in Spectre, I think, to be honest. Like, making that idea of, like, you know, the previous films, they're all tied together. They are, like, you know, there's links here to everything that's happening is all connected to this sort of like element. And it's really well done, because it even kind of like ties a little bit to 5 as well. You know, the idea, like, you know, this guy, he knows about them, and you only get as close as he wants you to be to them as well. And, you know, it makes Shaw a more imposing villain, because it shows him as intelligent. And I think, like, you know, when you have an intelligent villain, it's a lot more interesting than just some guy who's like, I'm gonna beat you up and kill you, because it's like the brain part of the villain. That's why, you know, I mentioned it last week, Hans Gruber in Die Hard is so good, because he's fucking intelligent. Like, he's thought of everything.
And you get that from Shaw here too. Like, he's thought of everything.
Oh,
like, you even get it from, like, the crew building, like exactly what we were talking about earlier, like the knowledge of what it takes to make a good crew. He's gone and made that, and just so happens that Toretto did the same thing. So, like, he wasn't making that as a response to Toretto. He just knew what goes into making a good crew, and it just happened to line up. And I like that sort of approach of, like, oh no, like, this kind of, by making Shaw intelligent and crew building, it kind of validates Dominic in a way of, like, oh look, he made the same crew, so he must be as intelligent as Shaw. We know that's not true, but it elevates their own crew that much more. Like, no matter how much, it's kind of like the Black Adam problem of, no matter how many times Black Adam can stand in a room and go, I'm not a hero. It's like, but you're being the hero. No matter how many times we can have Vin Diesel go, like, you got the greatest crew in the world, give him a reason to stay. It's like, you're a bunch of street racers. Are you the greatest crew in the world? And then as you start seeing Shaw's crew, it's like, oh, I get it. Like, this is kind of validating everybody in this sort of unwritten, like, uncalled out way, but it still works. Like, this is the sort of shit that makes people like us go, I buy it. So it's really well done.
It's also, it's playing out that whole, like, family versus function, you know, because they have that moment where Shaw and Dom are standing there talking to each other, and the whole, like, look, that's your weakness, is that you care about these people. You know, my strength is that these people are interchangeable. I lose one, I'll go find somebody that has the same function, and we'll keep rolling. And it's not a new concept, but it works well within the structure.
And they showcase it really well when they kill the one guy from his crew, the guy who was, like, creating those harpoon guns. He gets fucking lit up and he dies. And when Michelle Rodriguez reports that to Shaw, Shaw's response is, okay, thanks. She's like, you're not upset about this? He's a crew member. He's part of the quote unquote family. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you just told me I have to fill a job now. That's it. Whereas Toretto would be heartbroken by that for a scene or two.
And then maybe a scene in the next one where he's remembering them.
Yeah, he might remember at some point. You're like, do you remember Leo? Nope.
Who?
Old family.
I've got to say, like, this film as well, the family thing, they really started pushing, like, hitting that. There's one scene where the word family is said 3 times in one in like one line of dialogue or one exchange or something. Like, I've just found my note, it's just family, family, family. I should be taking a tally of how many times they say it, because this one, it's way more obvious that they're using like the term family.
Yeah, it's
I'd love to see a supercut. I'd like to see a supercut of this entire series of every time they say family.
I wonder how long. I bet someone's done it. I bet you can AI to do it now. Assuming that's all the rage on YouTube. Just please don't. Just please don't.
No, we don't want Terminator.
Nope. The one thing in this movie that we haven't really talked about, like we've talked a lot about how Tyrese works well with everybody. We did it last week. The one who gets to work a little bit more in this one, and I think was very, very smart, was they brought Luda up a lot. Like Luda's been present in every movie he's been in because you can't have Luda and not have him be present. Luda is a scene stealer just by design. He's just awesome. I fucking love Luda. If you ever got to see him in concert, he puts on a hell of a show.
He's like Q.
Yeah.
Speaking of
But-
Spectre.
But Luda and The Rock going car shopping might be one
Oh
of my
my
favorite
God.
sequences.
That's my
whole-
moment.
It's
That
just-
is so good. The snotty British guy basically judging them.
God, it's so.
And then later as well, where he's like,
I'll take your shirt.
he's like, I'll take the shirt.
It'll fit.
Well, I don't think this will fit. It's like, it'll fit. And then it's like, and the pants. And the watch too.
But the two of them playing off each other so well, because Hobbs is, his hard, fast, like I do exactly what I'm told and nothing less, has changed a lot between this movie and the last one, where he's a little bit more willing to dip into the gray areas, especially working with Toretto's crew and whatnot. But he's not so far that he's going to let Luda go steal all of those cars. So he's like, I'm going with you. I'm not going to let you do this. Like, we're going to figure this out legally, right? And like Luda seems like, I got it. And like even Hobbs, like when they're in like the house where they're trying to be like, how are we going to get these cars? And Luda's like, Hobbs, I said I got it. And they go, and it's like that line of Hobbs of like, so the way you got it was you're just going to buy them? Yeah. I loved it. It's just such like so like counter programming to what we've gotten throughout these movies of whenever they need something, they go fucking steal it. This is the one time they just go buy it. It's like we pulled off the last movie, guys. We can afford it. It's a great moment.
I do like how many times he tells him to not steal the cars as well. There's like in that sequence, like 3 or 4 times, he's like, "You're not going to steal these cars."
Got it. What have we missed character wise? What haven't we talked about? Go for it.
Giselle and
Giselle and
Han.
Han.
Yeah. Oh wow.
This,
You got it in
This
stereo, baby.
this, this makes Tokyo Drift relevant.
Yeah.
This movie is the movie that makes Tokyo Drift relevant. And it's Giselle and Han's relationship. They don't, you know that they like each other, you know that they're an item, but it's the fact that they're willing to defend each other. They save each other multiple times in this movie.
Mhm.
This is a movie that really does relationships right. Because in the last film, Mia had her kids, so you see Bryan switch that role to being a father, whether it's Jack choosing, it's Jack, right? Jack's the baby's name,
Yeah.
because his name's Jack. Jack choosing, a Skyline versus a Charger.
Mhm.
So you see these new relationships happen, but with Giselle and Han, it's more endearing, and especially with what happens at the end of the movie. Can we spoil it? Can we just say it? In the final fight, Han saves Giselle from a sniper. Giselle saves Han, but at the very end, Giselle, I'm a firm believer. You don't see the body; they're not dead, but she assumingly, lets go of Han as she's hanging from a car while they're flying through the air to kill the guy that's about to kill Han. So she seemingly makes the sacrifice play, which makes him wanting to go to Tokyo even better because it's what they were going to do. They've been talking about it for 3 films, and that's where he went, just to kind of, it made it more meaningful why he's there. It's just to for her memory. And it's such a heartbreaking thing to see, but then he comes back. So part of me think, okay, in 11 or 12, is Giselle going to come back? Either way, you don't see a body. We saw Owen fly through and get all jacked up, and he makes a return. So in the next movie, in fact, but we'll get there. But yeah, I just really enjoy how subtle they really played at their relationship, and how that in turn makes part 3 more meaningful.
Yeah, and it was one of those relationships where it felt organic to the movie.
Yes.
Like it didn't feel like, because when she shows up and Luda and Tyrese see her, they both do like the damn moment, and it's like, yeah, it's Gal Gadot.
When did those legs open?
Yeah, like
I pull this trigger.
Yeah, it's like, do you want me to open them? Like, it's such a great like. Okay, but then with Han, it's instantly different. Like they connect, and you see it almost immediately in part 5, and then in 6, it's just like this was the natural progression, and like seeing them together, like you can see why there was a lot of fans for Han and Giselle. Like they worked really well, and it's a fun relationship. But like when I'm sitting in the theater watching this, again, I hadn't watched trailers for it because I didn't start really watching them until I think part 8. Because I wanted to see what it looked like without Paul Walker in it. But I knew what was going on with the actor. Like I knew Gal Gadot had said this is probably her last one. I knew that she had Wonder Woman, she had all the DC stuff coming, and I knew she wasn't in Tokyo Drift, and this was supposed to be the one that took place before Tokyo Drift. So knowing all that and sitting down to watch this movie, even if I hadn't seen the trailer, I'm going, she's not going to make it through this movie. And the movie, smartly or not smartly, knows that we know this. Because they put her in so many situations like, oh shit, she's gonna, oh no, she's fine.
Yep.
Oh shit, no, she's fine.
Yeah.
And like, so knowing what you know going into this, being a fan of the franchise, if all you knew was that Tokyo Drift is coming, you already know enough to be like, oh fuck. And then it still happens. And it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
Well
Again,
done.
It gives you that, like, because of where it happens, or it gives you that little bit of hope that maybe she'll actually make it out. Of like, there'll be some other reason why she doesn't show up in Tokyo Drift, but no.
I saw somewhere like when somebody, I remember seeing this because like how they have like reaction videos. Well, somebody actually did a reaction for Fast 6. So somebody had seen it and then came back when in another theater when people were seeing it for the first time. And when that happens, the guy yells, "Tuck and roll!" It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. All right, so beyond Han Giselle, is there anybody else we need to talk about before we start moving into the action sequences of this thing?
I just want to like Samoan Thor is how Hobbs is saved in Tedge's phone. Fucking
That's
brilliant.
so good. We did miss one character we do have to talk about. Like I mentioned her, but we didn't really talk about Gina Carano.
Do we have to?
She's fine.
She's
like,
fine.
she served her purpose for the movie.
Yeah,
person,
I didn't find anything.
No, we don't talk
very
about the person. Talk about the character. Just the character.
Yeah, I didn't find her character
she served
anything
her
special.
purpose.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was very militant. Like that's what she was there for. She served that purpose. She's supposed to be just sort of the sidekick, cold, calculating to Hobbs. It's not meant to be this sort of juxtaposition. She's just a foot soldier.
But even then, the flip side too. Even the flip side when she shows that she's the rat, like it just goes. You're like, there's someone on the inside. There's someone that he wants you to get closer. She serves that purpose because when the reveal happens, he's just looking behind him, and the camera focuses on Letty, but then it goes back to him, and the camera's focused on her, and she goes, "Coming." It served its purpose. We knew that there had to have been a rat, and it was perfect that it was her. It's good writing.
Yeah, and like as much as like I liked the character, I think she was kind of fun in this movie, and she kind of filled like the Elsa Pataki role from 5, like so that worked. It was just kind of fun. Like at the time. Now I feel a little different, but at the time it was fun seeing her in this movie, and then seeing her like really know how to use somebody who has that physicality just available, and like her fight sequences are fucking good.
Oh yeah,
as much credit as I want to give to her, like Michelle Rodriguez has some hand-to-hand fight sequences throughout this franchise, and she brings it every time. Like when Michelle Rodriguez is in a fight sequence, I am interested because every time it's good. She has one later with Ronda Rousey that's just like, it's awesome.
When she's fighting in the subway, which we'll get to because that fight sequence, and she throws her hand up to grab the other end of the handcuff, I'm like, I'm out. Like, do I go this way to lose, or how do I do that?
She turns it into like a knuckle duster. It's fucking great.
Yeah, it's all a very cool fight scene. And that scene, you think for a few moments that like Letty's gonna get captured and brought in because she's getting overwhelmed pretty much the entire time. She is out of her depth fighting against Gina Carano's character.
And as most people would. She's a UFC fighter. She can kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's dive back. Let's start talking action sequence in this thing. This movie, again, if you hadn't seen the trailers, it sets up what I still think is the best gimmick car in the franchise. There's a lot of gimmick cars in this franchise. This movie has the best one. And it sets it up very well where The Rock and Gina Carano's character are walking through wherever the heist happened. And she's just looking around, and there's a car stuck in a building, like all way up high. And she just throws a line like, how the hell did that get up there? And the movie doesn't answer that beyond you see Shaw talking to someone while sitting in a car that looks like it has a big fucking ramp on the front of it.
Yep.
And it's just like, it doesn't tell you what it's going to do. He doesn't talk about it. They just show you. And as soon as they start showing you, it's like, Well, that's fucking insane.
Makes
Did you
sense.
guys
now.
ever see the TV show BattleBots?
Yes.
Those are the type of cars that would always win.
Yeah.
Because they always had the leverage to go and just flip them over to the side, and it's winner, big winner.
Yeah. And it's the whole action sequence throughout London when they're just flipping cars is just awesome. And then as you're going like, this is some of the coolest action I've seen, they bring in another one. Now they have 2 flipping cars, and it's like, fucking hell.
2 flipping cars.
But also the team has no idea what to do with it.
Yeah,
At all. You know, they're completely thrown off guard. They got those guns that shoot the sensor into the cars as well, and then forces the turn on them. And there's also they give Bryan that cool moment where he knocks it off of his side view mirror so he can keep going. That we say it's a lot, but it's a very smart chase sequence.
Yeah. And just like he's finally closing in on Joe Haslam's character, and he's like, Bryan's right behind him, he's gonna get him, and he's getting closer and closer, and then he just quickly pulls out of the way, and the ramp car is driving just dead at Bryan. It's such a great moment of like, oh, he's fucked. Sailing through the air, like the camera on his upside down, just whoa.
His face is so good, almost as good as Vin Diesel jumping.
It's so good. It's just like, it's just one of those sequences where it's like, it's an ego check for the team that has basically been flawless this far. Their biggest problems that they've really ran into when trying to like do whatever it is they're doing was a guy with a shotgun at the end of the first movie who just got a little too accurate with his aim. It's about it. Like they don't really get taken down once they get into cars. They usually win. Yeah. And this is the first time where it's like, nope, we got better drivers and we have better cars. And it's like, oh, shit.
It's like what Hobbs says in 5 is there's a line where it says, we do not let them get into cars, because the idea is like once they're in a car, they're unstoppable.
Yeah. And this movie really throws that out the window like, very quickly. And then by the end of the movie, like we're jumping over an action sequence. We're coming back to the subway because I just need to mention it. If it's not a flip car, they'll just crush it with a tank. Like Shaw is smart enough to go like, get the cars out of the picture, then we're fine. Something every other villain throughout the rest of the franchise seems to forget, but Shaw knew it here. Like, get the cars out of the picture. But if we're not talking about that first action sequence, the next one that always comes to mind for me is that all the hand-to-hand fighting throughout the underground. It is just all of it is good. And it's the only time we really see our main characters lose because of that stupid punch counting I talked about last week. Like we actually see people lose their fights and it's fun.
Yeah.
And the way they lose their fights. So there's something really special about showing the two heroes completely out of their depths and just being clowned on entirely. Like
by
Roman,
one guy as well. Like
by
two of them
one, and it's even that great, like he's throwing them into each other. Yeah, stuff. It's great. It really is.
And just like,
I mean, he's set up as a formidable fighter when he takes down, is it 3 or 4 police officers?
4.
4 police officers, takes them down. Then it's like just the 2 of them. They're like, okay, this might be difficult.
But I like 2/3 of the way through the fight, they've both just been completely destroyed. Just that you go, just like
there's just a crowd watching him too. Yeah. Like nobody's running. It's just like a fight at school. All the kids watching.
I'm half expecting the crowd to start going fight.
Yeah.
Fight. I mean, I've been on the London Underground. I would imagine the crowd would start going fight.
But it's such a good fight. Like it's so well choreographed. Getting the guy from the raid to be in it was smart. Like that guy can really, really put on a believable like movie fight. He was really good in this. Tyrese and Han, they hold up. Like they don't do that bad. It works well enough that they look like they'd lose that fight. They sure do. But then on the flip side, we have Michelle Rodriguez and Gina Carano in their fight. And that, like we talked about, is also a really good fight. Like you legit believe Michelle Rodriguez is going to lose this fight, and by and large does.
Yeah.
Like it's just the fact that at that point, the Gina Carano character is the one on our side, and she's quote unquote on the villain team. But either way, all of the characters that we normally like and root for lose their fights in this sequence.
Yeah,
like if Michelle Rodriguez didn't run the fuck away and get onto a train, she lost. There's not winning that one.
That
definitely
bit where
shows-
they go down the stairs as well.
She charges. Yep.
Yeah, because it's like they're concrete stairs. They're
Yeah.
solid concrete stairs. And they're going, oh, that's going to hurt.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've been downstairs on the London Underground. I'm like, I don't want to fall down those stairs. I'll break everything.
Oh yeah. And granted, they both get up and just, "Whew, we're fine." But
Yeah.
it's like,
Got a train to catch.
yeah.
But and what I really like about these fights is that it just shows how, kind of like they've won from here on out. Now they actually have to do something different. And what's great though is this is the first movie we really see them one step behind.
Mhm.
They still catch on. Like the whole thing with the tank and how we get introduced to the tank is, oh, we caught this guy in this base. Let's put our guys on high security and get the chip out of here. He's gonna attack the convoy. So
Yeah,
I mean, it just shows the dynamic and shift. Again, great villain. But again, we improvise, and a lot of that too makes sense for this crew because when they improvise, they can get stuff done. But when it comes to stuff and you're fighting hand to hand, it's difficult. So I really enjoy just the turn of events as the subway scene happens as we move on. We're just dealing with things that are over our head, and you feel that for the group.
Yeah. And then the bridge sequence, that action sequence, I mean, it's no bank vault. But if you're not counting the bank vault, this is one of the best car action sequences ever. The cars versus the tank is so much fun to watch because it's so insanely over the top, but still somehow grounded in the Fast and Furious reality. Not our reality, but the Fast and Furious reality. I'm into it. I'm believing all of it. Even the slight ridiculousness of Tank is pancaking car after car after car until it gets to Tyrese's car, and then it just kind of bumps it.
Yeah, and it's just it can't get over just quite until Tyrese jumps from his car into Paul Walker's car.
It ran out of Nas.
There you go. Not enough Nas in the tank. That works on a couple levels.
No. What it is Tyrese's car had some additional armor. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a new thing. It's called plot armor.
Yeah.
Ah.
But like Tyrese in his car screaming on the radio, "There's a tank on my ass," is just like it brought this already very ridiculous action movie with the flipping cars just up just enough to another level where I'm like, this is exactly what I want out of this. And just it's almost hard to watch like all of these people just getting fucking murdered by this tank.
Yeah.
And Shaw just like, wee, this is fun.
What did I tell you? They all walked
Let's
away.
have some fun. Like, holy shit. Like, keep in mind, later movies, we like Shaw. He's a good guy later.
Well,
that's coming.
What country was that in again? It's not America. It doesn't matter.
Multiple counts of vehicular manslaughter. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. He's a good guy now. You know, he's part of the family.
It's fine. He hit his head and he's a different person. He's no longer a killer.
He is still straight up Shaw. They just, they're just friends now.
Falling from a plane and going comatose really changes a person.
It does. It does.
It makes you take stock of what matters inside here.
Yes.
On the next,
turns out it's family.
On the next episode of Binge Buddies, we're gonna get in touch with our inner selves.
It's important. It's important, especially when talking Fast and Furious. But the rest of that tank sequence is great. Like it's smart how they introduce it with the Luda. The guys, we got a tank. What? And it's just fun. Like even down to the tank shooting at them. Like all of it is just pure level, just stupid fun. And I love all of it. Like the way that like Bryan even uses some of the crumbled bridge to change lanes by jumping over it. And you can clearly tell his little car is flipping over, but just in between scenes, no, he's fine now. It's like, yeah, the stunt car definitely flipped, but the one in the movie, we're good. And I can make my peace with all of that because in my mind,
one of the stunt cars flipped.
Yeah, but in
the
my
second
mind,
one landed okay-ish.
But in my mind, what I'm taking that is they flipped a car. This wasn't a cartoon car. They actually went out and physically launched a car into the air and got it on film. Like the fact that this movie still cares about doing practical stunts just warms my heart. Like even in a sequence like this with the tanks, it's like it's nice to still see that physicality there. Like it makes it that much better.
Well, there was a thing that I read. Justin Lin basically in 5 basically said, "I'm going as little CG as possible."
Yeah,
because there was a lot of backlash after the tunnel sequence in 4,
which there should have been.
Like
that was earned.
Yes, it was awful.
Can you say that again, Brian?
Really,
you heard me.
because it was like quite clearly CG and like bad CG. So he basically made a conscious decision to be like, right, we can do this practically. Doesn't matter how much it costs in terms of like what we have budget wise. If it's possible to do this practically, we're doing it practically, and we can tidy up little bits with CGI, but we're not CGIing cars. Like so all the car stuff, it's like we do it.
And that holds throughout all of his movies, except for 4. And then it's kind of jarring then when you watch James Wan's movies next week, or it might be 2 weeks, depends on how scheduling works. Don't worry about that. But the next episode, when we watch part 7, it gets way more CG, and the rest of them get way more CG, and it's okay. Like it works enough, but you definitely do feel that shift of like Brian's car launching to get from lane to lane is crazy in CG. It's crazy, but it's practical, not very CG. We get plenty of CG in this movie. We still haven't talked about Vin Diesel flying through the air.
We're getting there though.
Super Vin,
almost there. But like you feel like that tactile nature of it definitely just it elevates this action sequence, which could be crazy ridiculousness, like to the point where you kind of tune out, but it grounds it just enough because they are real cars.
I mean, how many times in the Terminator series did we talk about the CG versus practical and like, you know, the practical having that weight to it? It's got just the physicality of the weight of like, you know, you can tell when something's real, whereas with CG, it feels like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like everything, there's no real like fights in CG. It's so like people have been thrown at like completely unrealistic and unbelievable heights and speeds, and you're hitting. It's like because you design it in a computer, you're not having to actually physically do anything. So in a computer, you can make anything possible, which is good in theory, but actually, it takes me out of the film when it's a CG fight. I imagine there's people out there who love that sort of stuff. Fair play to you, enjoy. But for me, it's like I need to feel some sort of physicality, because the moment I'm sort of like thinking, well, this is just CG, it's not, I'm not connecting that. I'm not connecting to anything emotionally or anything like that, because there's no stakes anymore.
Not just the weight though. There's a flatness to the CG when you're watching it, right? The field of view is a little off. Like the Terminator stuff or this, you know, you can see the trajectory of things a lot more cleanly, where you see something like Marvel movies, or there are even parts of the Lord of the Rings when you see CGI being done compared to the practical backgrounds. And it's glaringly obvious when you've got that sort of depth versus the flatness of CG.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's fine. Like it's exactly what Matt was saying. Like it's fine. Like I can have a ton of fun watching a CGI mess on screen. I can have a ton of fun watching practical. Just for my money, I'm going to choose practical every time over the CG mess. And it could be a preference thing. But for me, it definitely made this tank sequence that much better. And there's a shitload of CGI throughout it. Like we're not kidding ourselves here, but it's still like whenever it could be practical, it was, and it made it that much better. But then we get to the end of the sequence with the car launch, and if they tried to do that practical, they would have been out of their minds, because it's at this point, this is the dumbest thing that's happened in a Fast and Furious franchise. And it's Vin Diesel flying through the air, grabbing Michelle Rodriguez, and then landing on a car to break their fall. It is the most ridiculous stunt. I still enjoy it.
And the second, I love that line though, where
how did you know the car was there?
Where she tries to just justify it, like, how do you know the car was there to break your fall? Motherfucker, he'd still be dead. It's a car, not a mattress.
And the second they sent Letty out of that tank, you knew she was going flying.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. There was no ambiguity about what was going to happen. It was like, okay, here's the saving moment where they somehow have her, you know, cannoned out of there. And that was my one moment where I was just like, oh, come on. You know, everything else you can suspend disbelief. It's a fun action movie, but like No, you launch them and they're as pancaked as anybody who got ran over by tanks.
I just think of Ricky Bobby. I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
Whenever I get to this sequence in this movie, I'm always reminded, if you haven't listened to the episodes of How Did This Get Made, where they talk the Fast and Furious franchise, they do all of them, and they are massive fans of this franchise. Like, they love the shit out of them. Famously, Jason Mantzoukas, when they watched this in theaters, when they got to this scene, he's very proud of this. He stood up, cheered, and clapped. Just, yeah! Because it's like, there's shark jumping, and then there's this, and it's so remarkably stupid that I'm like, I love it. And even, like, you can tell they tried. Like, when he lands on the windshield, it's gonna break a little bit. Like, it cushioned his fall. Like, there was just someone who's like,
oh, that should have went through.
yeah, just give me something to make it just 1% believable. Just give me 1%. All right, it's gonna break like a net. That'll work. I'll take it. All right, thank you. We have a movie.
What I think would have been brilliant, and it would have been totally stupid, but I think it would have been so much better and just in keeping with the unrealisticness of this, if he just happened to land in the back of a truck that was just full of packing peanuts. Or just like a mattress delivery service or something like that. But it's just an open top truck. And it just goes doing.
So what kind of car is it? Like, current cars, they've got a crumple zone when you get into a car crash. It's not like that steel where it's like bam. It's when you get hit, the vehicle is designed to crumple and it ruins the car, but it saves everybody in it. So maybe
it's like absorbing the
So it's like,
he landed on the crumple zone.
So are you saying Vin Diesel has a crumple zone or the car has a crumple zone?
Both.
I mean, I'm just thinking about the time that I fell 3 feet onto, like, I slipped on some stairs, fell 3 feet and banged my coccyx, and like I couldn't walk very easily for 6 weeks because it hurt.
Yeah.
He landed on a fucking car on his ass, like.
And he's not done. We still have a whole other action sequence we have to talk about that he also walks away from just fine.
Like in very cinematic fashion too.
Oh yeah. As great as a tank
fire.
As great as the tank sequence is, it's not the most unbelievable thing in this movie. We still have the plane sequence where Shaw is gonna get away and the crew has to stop him. How do they stop a fucking plane?
It's not a plane, it's a planet.
Also fair. With harpoon guns. They stop a plane with harpoon guns, and their own little dinky cars somehow weigh it down
on a 90-mile runway.
It's probably longer than 90 miles. Hold on. You guys can talk about this sequence for a minute. Somebody did the math. I remember reading it. How long is the runway? You guys can talk. I'll be back in a second.
But if you suspend disbelief, this sequence is fine. It's led to this point. This is the big getaway. The cars are gonna get onto the plane and fly off, and it's just, you have to suspend disbelief. It's so action packed though. Like, there's a lot to it with the harpoon guns. Just suspend disbelief at this point. This is the movie.
You have to.
Can we just have that be implied? Implied.
If you
need
to
to suspend disbelief.
And this is where you start. Like, for us to get to Fast and Furious 9 when they're in space, it starts here. This is where
they're in space.
Just this way. This is where we.
It works. It works.
It works. It really does. But this is where we have to start just enjoying it, and it's fine because it is a very well crafted. It's a very well crafted fight sequence, and flight sequence. I don't know, whether it's the crew on the outside trying to stabilize the ship so the crew on the inside can rescue Mia because Mia's been kidnapped at this point. To bring them back out to try to stall and get time. This is where Giselle sacrifices herself for Han, and then Han takes the guy from the raid and tosses him through a plane engine, which causes the plane to crash.
That throw is so.
It's good. It's so good. It's like, you killed Gal Gadot, eat shit.
It's sort of sensory overload with how much
really
is going on there. Like, I understand they want to intertwine everybody who's important in this sequence because everybody's important to the series, but it almost goes on a tad bit too long for my liking.
Yeah.
Like I think the
see that.
interior fighting stuff, it's just, they could have probably cut a few minutes out of that and I would have been.
They could have cut
You mean
about
the
50
Rock and Vin
miles off the
Diesel's
runway.
tag team?
Like,
What do they call that finish? Well, you got the flying headbutt. You've got
Yeah,
the,
yeah, the
the
flying.
flying clothesline. Like, there's just all these WrestleMania rooms.
but I love the squaring up. Like, I love the Shaw and is Kim Cole, I think his name is, the
Yeah.
huge guy. You have the squaring up between them and then Vin Diesel and The Rock, and just like it's like the last shot we get of the two of them together. I think for a long time, 7 I think is where they started like not wanting to be on set together. But like, all right, we're gonna fucking throw down. Like, I love that, but at the same time, I totally agree with Joel. Because it goes on so long, that's how we have statistics. Like I just found that runway would have to be between. It's not as far as we thought, not even close. 18.37 miles and 28.83 miles. But for reference, the longest runway currently is only 3 miles long, so it's still a massively long runway. But because of all that, like, kind of overstuffed sequence, that's why the runway gets to be so comically long, because we have to pay off all these showdowns. And I get it. I like it. It's fun. And kind of like what I said in the beginning of the episode, where if this is Justin Lin's last one, it does kind of feel like that grand final fireworks display.
My quip to this, they're sitting there driving on these wings that are hooked on by tensile cord, and they want people to jump out of a moving plane onto a moving vehicle. Like, here's how that's going to work. The car's going to keep going. You're just going to go straight down. Like, you need to get enough. You need to jump forward, and even then, I think you're going to miss it. So.
But no, because they jump behind the engine, and the engine wash pushes them.
Suspend disbelief.
Because if you haven't suspended disbelief yet, you have to remember that plane is about to come down, and Vin Diesel's going to drive a car through the nose of it.
Yep. This is definitely where we get it. But and like
because military planes are famously weak.
Yeah.
Very weak, especially in the front of the plane, like the part that has to go through the wind and like take all the brunt of it.
Yeah.
It's like
and the bottom,
glass.
which is going to be the thing that's going to get shot at as well. The bottom of military planes is famously weak because they want bullets to be able to penetrate it like it's tinfoil.
Yep. But a NOS-powered harpoon gun straight through.
Now,
the government never expected that.
What's great about this sequence, though, is yes, it is sensory over. Yes, it goes too long, but we get the payoffs. You see the big guy get taken down by The Rock and Vin Diesel. Shaw, they're both scrambling to get the chip before they have to get off, and things are starting to go down. So Vin Diesel gets out, Shaw stays in, but then he hits the barrier and flies out of the vehicle. That's a good payoff. You see Cara get shot with a harpoon.
Yeah, that was satisfying.
You get all these satisfying endings. Like, okay, this is worth it. There.
And that's kind of what I was saying with like the fireworks show of it all. Like, it's like the complaints are valid, but they don't detract. Like, it doesn't even take like a shave a point off. Like, the end action sequence, a 10 out of 10 for me, which pretty much is. This stuff doesn't really even knock at that score because the rest of it's so good.
It is a minor quibble. Yeah.
Well, it's the thing, isn't it? It's like you go and see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, for example.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you go and see that and you start complaining, well, wait a minute. He's exposed to vacuum in space. He'd be dead. It's like, you're not watching a documentary. You're watching an action film that, it's not supposed to be realistic. Like, even the films that are quote unquote realistic, they're still not actually that realistic as to how things would actually work.
Yeah.
You can get very close to it, but real is boring. We want, especially in action films, Christ. Like, you look at Die Hard and say, that's a pretty realistic action film because the scenario is realistic. What happens in it is fucking ludicrous. But you buy it.
I don't remember Ludacris in Die Hard.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. He's the guy on the radio. He's the guy in the limousine.
Yeah. He would have been really good as what's his name? Miles? I'm forgetting the guy's name in the limousine. I think it's Miles.
I don't know, actually. Limo driver.
No, he's got a name.
What's his fucking name?
No, I don't remember. This isn't a Die Hard podcast, although it could be. There's enough of them. Just saying.
There's only 3.
I'm not talking about 6, man. Fuck, or is it 5? Either way, fuck that movie.
Is that the one in Russia with Jake?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a bad
that
movie.
What? There's only 3 Die Hard films. I do not know what you're talking about.
Live Free
Hey,
or Die
the one with
Hard is a movie.
Timothy Oliphant, man. I'm a villain supporter, and Timothy Oliphant is fucking
Argyle. I need to look it up.
Argyle.
Argyle.
Why can I not remember Argyle? Fuck me.
And the
But
guy
we come
who
full
Argyle.
circle.
I'm your Uber driver.
We come full circle with this because what's this worth to you? When he gives the briefcase, it's like 1327. Like what the $1,000? You fucking cheap ass. $1 billion check.
No, that's how many cars he wants.
I gotta say though, I loved seeing the house at the end. Like it was a kind of a nice, like, we're back. This is kind of nice. And had this been the end of the franchise, like some people thought it was, I was kind of okay with it. Like it would have been an okay ending. We all kind of knew it wasn't going to be because 5 was such a hit, then 6 ended up being more of a hit, and then fucking 7 just pew into the stratosphere.
We get our mid-credit scene in this one that's set up 7.
Oh
get to
boy,
that.
does it!
We gotta get to baby oil.
Yeah, so the movie's done. We've saved the day, and we're finally back to the family barbecue. And fucking hell, film's greatest spit take happens.
Impromptu. Wasn't that planned?
Like, oh my god, is it funny? Did somebody write down the lines? I've never even written them down because it just always makes me laugh, and I forget to write it down.
I know what it is by heart. Hey,
go for it. What was it?
So Tyrese,
I didn't write it down, but I know what it is.
So Tej sees Hobbs coming. He goes, because earlier he made a thing about baby oil.
No, it's Roman. It's not Tej.
Oh, it's Roman. Oh yeah, Roman. So
Tej
Roman,
does the spit take.
Yeah,
that's right.
But Roman made a line earlier about, "Do you guys smell baby oil?" When he's sitting there making fun of Hobbs. Hobbs walks behind him. So he makes the comment, "Hey Mia, better hide your baby oil." Well, you better hide that big ass forehead. The spit take from Tej. I mean, that line was not in the script. Neither of those lines were in the script. That was just Tyrese being in character and being a dick to Roman. So I mean that worked, and it did, and the best part is when he does that spit taste, like that genuine smile from Ludacris is fantastic. But Tyrese stays in character. Like, I was just kidding. I was kidding, man. I was like,
forehead ain't that big, right?
But I mean, the ending is just such a perfect setup. They get their pardons. I know Ryan's pissed because whatever her name is. She's like, he's your man. Take him. He's fine.
It's dumb.
It is.
It is dumb.
It is.
I don't think she knew she was pregnant there.
She definitely knows by then.
I don't think she knows.
Even if she doesn't know she's pregnant, it's still dumb. It's still fucking stupid.
Regardless,
like, but, still the most unrealistic thing in these films so far.
Han, I agree. If you love somebody, you're gonna fight for him. But Han is, Han's going to Tokyo. Everything seems right when the prayer, and the movie ends with the prayer. You're like, okay, this is the perfect ending. If this is it, like we think that it's gonna be, all good and dandy. But then we get the glimpse into 3, and we see that it is not an accident. That Buick was not driving. It didn't hit Han on purpose or as an accident. That Cadillac was driven by someone with a purpose to take Han out, to send a message to Toretto, and it was perfect. Deckard Shaw gets out of the car, played by Jason Statham, who becomes a staple, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And he just says, "Dominic Toretto, you don't know me, but you're about to. Fuck me, we have a good movie coming up." I thought that was the perfect lead-in. What a great way to end a movie. Like, you think it's all fine and dandy, and then you get another big baddie that they have to deal with. Sign me up.
And especially like as like an action movie fan, Statham can just bring the best evil cheese.
Yeah.
Like he's just so good at eating scenery in the best way possible. And it's like, oh, he's gonna be a great fit for this franchise. Like, holy shit.
His introduction in the next movie, I'm not going to spoil it, but oh my God,
so good.
My favorite of this entire, like, if we do a moment, that very well could be my number one. But we'll talk about that when we talk about that.
It's definitely the best character introduction in the whole franchise.
Yes.
But yeah, like end credit sequence, I am so excited for part 7. But like I was saying, if this had been the end of the franchise and they didn't throw that in there and it just ended with that prayer and like the final line of "Thank God for fast cars,"
Yep,
I would have been okay with it. Like it would have been, it would have worked.
It's a great last line to a series which has been about fast cars, really. It's a really good, like, tying the knot really on that sort of thing.
And it ties the knot on the Justin Lin side of it, because he knew he wasn't doing 7. So like this really felt like him saying goodbye. Granted, they get him to come back for 9, and then he was going to do 10, but apparently got a weekend of filming 10 and went, fuck this, I'm out. It's like,
oh really?
Oh yeah. Apparently he said this job is not worth my mental health and quit. Just quit on the spot, and was like doing like a George Costanza level, like, I'm just so fucking mad, I'm quitting. And the studio just went, all right, fine, I guess you quit then. He's like, I guess I did quit. And end of that.
Oh, wow.
Then it's like, oh
Because
shit.
I was thinking like, well, maybe he'll come back for like the sequel. But if he quit because of that, it's like, oh, he's done then.
Yeah, he and apparently Vin Diesel's a lot to handle in these later movies. As soon as they lost Paul Walker, he went a little nuts.
No, Vin Diesel's got an ego.
No. Dude,
No,
when dude goes off and makes individual films, they're horrible. So he knows he has to hold on to his franchises, whether it's Riddick or Fast and Furious. And so that's like the only way he's going to make money, because anything else, well, I guess you can call Marvel too, but he says 3 fucking words in a varying tone. But either way, he's a franchise guy. He knows he has to have some type of creative control, and that's why he becomes more of a producer, and that's
6
why...
words.
Yeah, he says 6
I am
in
Groot,
3.
we are Groot.
Oh, sorry, 7 words. You just gave me another one.
What's the other one?
I can't.
I haven't seen the new one.
I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
But he's got 7 words now.
So it's just he takes creative license with the production of these movies, and I can see how that can be a little bit interesting.
And I also like you as much as annoying as it is, and he's a butthead. He's totally a butthead. I'm calling it out. At the same time, he has a franchise that no one has ever believed in, and it just kept succeeding. And he is the front man. But like it or not, like as much as we want to say Paul Walker is like the co-star to this, or even another leading man of this, it has been Vin Diesel on the front poster in every movie except 2 of them that he wasn't in. This has been his franchise. So like as much as we want to be annoyed about it and call him a butthead and all this stuff, long and short of it is no Vin Diesel, no Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
So like he does have some validation in his buttheadedness. I just wish it wasn't so buttheaded. I'm gonna keep saying butthead. Works out well.
All right, Biff. Butthead.
Is there anything else we need to talk about in this thing before we start going to our favorite moments or quotes? It's like a solid no. All right, so I went first last week. I'm gonna make Joel go first. Joel go first because he has a look on his face of I don't want to go first.
Thanks. It's tough for me to pick because there's the thing about this movie is there's a lot of great moments and a lot of great lines. Tej saying, guys, they got a tank. The line is one thing. He looks like he's about to cry.
Yeah, the way he says it is fantastic.
It's just
he sells the hell out of that line.
Yes, he does.
It's just like, and it's the beat though, because it's like guys, we gotta come up with a different plan. They got a tank. It's that pause, and it's like you can see the cogs going in his head where he's just like, I can't believe I'm saying this.
There's the moment where Hobbs is interrogating that dude and just starts beating the absolute crap out of him. And yeah, and the officer goes, "Is that legal?" And then Riley goes, "No, but are you gonna go in there and tell him?"
And you see, like, as he walks out, you just see what's left of the interrogation room as well.
Some poor janitor's coming by and just going, "What the fuck?"
And one last one real quick is it's just we already talked about it, but the end of the fight with Roman and Han, and Roman says, "No one needs to know about this."
I love that they've never brought it up since. They hold to that. No one knows about it.
Oh, Han's dead, so you know.
Well, yeah, but it still would be great just for like, hey, by the way, like, if I would just kill to see a scene with Tej, like, hey, Roman, I got the security footage from the underground. It would be such a great payoff. Since I'm already talking, I'm gonna jump in with my line. My line comes from Roman and Han. Like, they have very good chemistry.
You better not steal my shit.
I'm guarantee I'm taking it then.
Yep.
I think you're stealing mine as well.
Well, I was gonna let Ryan have it, but since you both have it, then I'm gonna go back to taking
I
it.
got a backup.
Okay, great. So it's Roman and Han. They're talking. It's Giselle. Talking about Giselle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Roman like, oh shit, like you're actually in love. You love, and he gives him this whole spiel of, you got special plans, big day. You're gonna call us all out. Better make sure you got a big rock, man.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like she'll be easily impressed. It's not a big rock. You better be big somewhere else. You know what I'm talking about? And nudges and laughs. And Han just politely smiles, looks. That's why all your girlfriends wear such big bling, huh?
See, a part of
So
me, yes,
good.
yes. And I was gonna say too, I like when he makes fun of Giselle. I don't know, man. That was disrespectful, and I don't like the way she said it. Like, he's the man.
Yeah.
Then he goes into that spiel. Like, that whole sequence is just good. But I got something to back that up.
Okay, go ahead then.
My favorite is when he's talking about smelling the baby oil, and he goes, "I thought that was our last job, Brian. So what? We work for the Hulk? What that's what we're doing? Why do I smell baby oil?" And The Rock comes in and goes, "If you keep running your pie hole, you're gonna smell an ass kicking."
God, you just took my backup quote.
Yes.
Man, the Rock is the most sweaty dude I've ever seen in a movie. Just dripping every time you see him on screen.
And he's in London.
Yeah.
Why is he sweating in London?
Good Lord.
All right, so Joel
That's going to his third.
Brian took my main one. Ryan took the backup one. So I guess I've got to use the backup. And it's just
Plan D, E, F, and G.
We're running out of alphabet.
pretty much, yeah. It's the bit where they're talking about, like, you know, the crew and all this stuff. And Brian's like basically says, this is a whole different level. And then you just see Roman go, we're getting paid, right?
Yeah, my backup was it's on a house thing. We already talked about that. So I guess I just had to step on taking both of yours, which I
think, yeah, that's more of a
is
moment
everyone's
than a
favorite
quote,
moment
because
this
it's
big
just
Is everyone's favorite moment this big take? Like, that's my favorite.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite moment. Like, how would it not be? Because it's
Yeah.
the fact that it was, I really nerd out for those like improv moments that make it into films. Every time it happens in a movie and I learn about it, I go nuts. My favorite will always be Almost Famous. That one is so good. But those moments are just like, they're just great. And this one happens to be a really funny one. And it's like, I'm fucking in. Almost Famous one is just very, very sweet. And it's like, oh, that was just it. Ah, you know, teary-eyed over here. I think it's time for plugs, right? We done it? We done it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. I was just looking at my notes. I'm like, do I have anything else to talk about? Nope. I think I'm good. This show, every other show on the HH Network, be sure to check out athpod.com, including Damage Boost, which has been really great lately, and Demon Days, which I love being a bullywug for that show. So be sure to check out the Actual Play D&D podcast. That's all I'm gonna say.
Afterthoughts Podcast is a book club with Kelly. We're still booking it. Super GG Radio is a podcast about video games and all things adjacent. Brian, I'm still playing Retro Bowl, man.
Hell yeah.
I tell you what, kids baseball games, there's a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
And that helps. That helps.
And Retro Bowl is a annoyingly fun game.
It is. It's pocket Madden meets what was that NES game? There's an NES football game that's like very simple.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name. Oh well.
We can catch me on the Front Row Network, where I do a lot of various shows, but I am the host for Front Row Flashbacks, where we talk about movies from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. We did bring him up, but we are going to be talking about Bloodsport for the month of June, so we will talk about that. So there's that.
Just talk about Bloodsport for the whole month of June.
We do one movie a month.
Oh. You said there's not that much to it, is there?
That's
No,
a
there
tight,
really
like
isn't.
85-minute movie.
It really is.
Great movie though. I fucking love Bloodsport.
It's been
Maybe
a
we
long
can
time
have
since
you
I've
on.
seen it, actually.
And the unofficial sequel, The Quest.
Yes.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme wanted to make another movie. But he
Spiritual
didn't,
sequel.
yeah, he didn't really know how to make other movie, so he just made The Quest, and it's just Bloodsport again.
Yep.
Saw it in theaters. He plays a mime in the beginning of the movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme as a street mime. Like
Yeah.
this movie is amazing. Everyone needs to see The Quest. Any other plugs?
The Quest, from the sounds of it.
The name was Tecmo Super Bowl.
There it is. I thought it was just called Super Bowl, but I didn't want to say that because it sounded wrong.
Damn it, we've given him enough time to look it up.
All right, there is a chance because I am leaving the country here in 2 days that our schedule gets a little wonky and we miss next week. But tune in next time is all I'll say when we talk about Furious 7. We'll figure out the schedule on our end. If we miss a week, I apologize. But Furious 7 is coming, and it's a fucking awesome movie. It's a lot of fun. James Wan did a really good job with what he recently said was the most difficult movie of his career. Thank you everyone very much for listening. And, bye. Bye.